You cannot be fucking with the laptop while I'm doing this.
Changing everything. What are you talking about?
My fucking cat trying to press buttons and shit.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry, Bob.
You gonna chill out? You trying to get it all out of the way now, or?
Hell no. It's just this is the startup. This is like when you open the soda and it just the bubbles just start to fizz before the volcanic explosion.
Oh,
but I'm not gonna be the one exploding today.
We might have a very quiet Mad Sticks on the show.
Quiet, my boy for the snap. I'm almost certain he's gonna go off. Fuck right, McCarthy. Fuck the goddamn running back coach.
Now, fuck, I'm starting with that guy in your picture right there. He need to go.
Elliot?
Hell yeah, fuck Elliot.
Zeke.
He's garbage now. He need to go. Zeke need to go.
That's meow meow.
Done.
Give Pollard the #1 spot. Zeke need to go. Zeke ain't did shit in like 3 years now.
No.
Zeke got to go.
Yikes.
Oh, not Zeke.
Zeke got to go. McCarthy got to go.
Y'all could trade Zeke for some good draft
motherfucking 7 starters that been out for like 3 weeks into her and bring their motherfucking asses back.
Oh, you might
pissing me off. The fuck you lose 2 games in a week. This shit, well, fuck them. Did the Jets win today?
I'm not editing any of this out. I like the little intros that we have. The little
the Jets won today?
Yes.
Jets
okay, good.
Today, at least.
Shit, at least I won something today. Shit.
You beat yourself in fantasy too.
Hell yeah. It was kind of close there for a second. I was like, and I even took players out. I was like, damn, I still gonna lose to myself.
Oh shit. Oh
man, yeah, well, that was fucking 28 penalties, huh?
Disgusting.
Fucking disgusting,
it, man.
Nah, that shit is disgusting. Fucking.
It's pretty bad.
If it wasn't for the fucking, I mean, the Giants helped us out today by beating the Eagles, so that kid, because if the Eagles would have won, they was only 1.5 games behind. Yeah.
Leave it to the fucking Eagles to make it difficult on themselves.
Yep.
Well, let's get this started. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the All Pro Jaffos. It is Sunday, November 28th, 2021. We are recording this. Happy Thanksgiving, happy late Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had a good holiday. Obviously, you guys know where we were on Thursday. Right now, we're watching the Sunday Night Football games. Had a bunch of the pretty interesting games to watch earlier today. But before we get into all that, I'm your host, JP. Alongside me, as always, the best DJ and probably the most pissed off Cowboy fan in the world right now, Mr. DJ Mad Sticks.
I'm going to sip my tea while you do this intro.
And the 6'10" beast from the southeast, Mr. Country K. Oh, yep, he's just having the He's ready. Well, I mean, before we get into the story of what happened to San Francisco, we have to talk a little bit about what happened today. The amount of shit that Mad Sticks was talking while the Bucks were losing, at least in the first half of that game that they were playing against the Colts. The first thing I said is, I'm not saying a word. I don't want to say anything, just in case. And it was weird because Country K was eerily silent through most of the game, which is that doesn't happen. So usually he'll find something to say, whether he complains in the moment about what's going on or something. He usually says something, but he was very quiet throughout up until Was it the end of the game?
Oh no, the game was over by the time I said something.
Okay, so the game was completely over before Country came in and just started saying the most stuff, and then the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, 28 penalties. Some of those penalties, as I look back, were bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you; they're pretty bad. Some of those penalty calls were just absolutely horrible. But other than that, it was fuck. Why am I drawing a blank on who you guys played? You guys played the fucking Raiders. Of course, I didn't watch that game because it had two teams that I just can't stand the most playing in the game. And what's hilarious is it was the most viewed game or the most watched game since was a fucking early 2000s or something like that. So I was just like, wow, the one game that I'm never going to watch ever becomes the most viewed game ever. And the Raiders came in and it wasn't an overtime, right? Was it an overtime?
It was overtime. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Overtime
Raiders.
Game. I mean, it was close.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a blowout.
Somebody want to hear about close? Anybody hear shit about close?
The only thing you want close is close to $1 million.
Right. Close you was close to winning the lottery. You was one number off.
Yeah, nah.
That's like second place.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, you still get money though.
Like you close.
I mean, if you're one number off, you are still getting paid.
I want the whole thing. I don't want just a piece of it.
The whole enchilada.
I want the whole.
Why is my
man?
Oh my fucking god!
I just have no words for this past week. It says everybody should be back this week, and we'll see what they do.
Raiders.
The Saints Thursday night.
So at least, well, you got another Thursday night game?
We got Thursday. We got the Saints this coming Thursday.
You have Thanksgiving Thursday, and then the very next week you got Thursday night football.
Doesn't fit. Bad
Yikes!
Now,
that sucks, man.
We should have like 5 of those 7 players that we missing back. So we'll see.
Should.
I mean, it really ain't gonna matter.
Now it should make a big difference.
Yes.
You got 2 starting receivers out, 2 starting defensive ends out. It should make a big difference.
I guess. I mean, if they was productive. So here's my problem: is it in New Orleans or is it in Arlington?
I'm not even sure.
Because that matters. Because Amari ain't gonna play if it's in New Orleans. He ain't gonna play. You might just cancel Christmas. Think about it.
This is gonna be one of those games he doesn't show up.
I mean, you don't play well on the road, so everybody know that. And on top of that, ain't like DeMarcus Lawrence has had flashes of being good this year, but that's about it. So yeah, man.
Yeah, so we get him, Lamb, Gregory, and Lawrence back this week, and I think Cox. We got Collins back this past week, so we'll see.
What happened to ABCD?
I don't even know.
From it, I love how it went from this is going to be a playoff team. We're looking into the Super Bowl to fuck this team.
Hey, I never said we wasn't gonna make the playoff. I never said we wasn't gonna make the playoff.
He didn't say that.
I just said fuck the team right now. I never said we wasn't gonna make the playoff.
I did.
We'll win our division. That might be about it.
Well, I mean, it's still up in the air right now. It's still up in there because y'all go for sure split with Washington. You for sure split with Washington, so you can't even beat the Raiders. You split with Washington for sure. For sure, split with Washington. And shit, Jalen Hurts might fuck around beat y'all last game of the year because they ain't those who y'all got last game of the season. The Eagles.
Now we got Washington. We got Washington, the Eagles, and Washington again.
So that's the lineup. Okay, so shit. Yeah. So back to back, and then you'll win the last game of the year. That ain't gonna matter. So you'll take the first L to Washington and the second L to Philly, and then you'll win that second Washington game because y'all gonna be like, shit, man, they got us fucked up. No, we got y'all right.
It was a hell of a. I mean, the Bucks ended up coming back and winning in the second half. The 49ers had a pretty decent game, at least running the football wise and everything, against Minnesota, up to the point where Kirk Cousins literally lined up behind the fucking guard, so where they had to take a timeout. I thought they were trying to, when Kirk Cousins lined up behind the guard.
Wildcat.
Right, I thought they were gonna like direct snap it to Madison that was in at the moment because Cook was out at that point. Later, we actually just found out that it's he's got a dislocated shoulder.
Ah, damn.
So a dislocated shoulder for a running back. I mean, what are y'all thinking? A week, 2 weeks? Sometimes shoulder dislocations aren't that bad. If they don't
when
do
you're running the ball, they
growth.
will though. Because you going down with your upper body, so you take a hit in that shoulder, that thing gonna hurt. You gonna be up for a couple weeks.
I'm not. Excuse me.
Come on.
I was trying not to fucking talk, but that shit was coming out when Man 6 was talking. I was like, shit, be quiet. It's like, shit. God damn. That's
but I mean, I don't know. I'm just when Cook went down, when they showed the replay, initially I thought it was his knee because it looked like his lower body got tangled up a little bit. But then when he landed, you can see like he landed on his elbow and kind of threw his shoulder up, and then he immediately went and held down over it. It's like at first I thought maybe he might have like popped or like broken a rib or something like that because he was holding his ribs. He was holding underneath, like right here. He wasn't holding up here. So I was like, well, okay. I was like, maybe you might have done something to his ribs, but no, it's a dislocated shoulder. Deebo Samuel, the very next play after that, because Dalvin Cook fumbled and the 49ers got it back, Deebo Samuel ended up hurting his groin. And at that point in the game, Deebo already had, I think, 9 rushes for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's a problem.
And two receptions for 45 yards.
That's a problem. That's a serious problem. To be all the way honest with you, this is the reason why I can't. Go ahead.
Is it a problem that we have a running back that can do it all, kind of like a Cordero Patterson?
2 things. Firstly, he ain't a running back. Secondly, it's a problem because the fact that you have 11 people that walk on that field.
And only one doing something.
And only one person doing something. So, yeah, he's going to hurt his groin when he's the only motherfucker doing something. That's like LeBron going to the finals for 10 years and then eventually getting hurt. Duh, he going to the furthest point that you possibly can go for 10 years straight. It's already 82 games. The man playing 100 games a year. And like, come on, bro. He playing 100 games a year. And then he's getting hurt after 10 years straight of getting to the pinnacle. Like, come on, bro. Like, same thing with Deebo Samuel. In order for him to break Jerry Rice's season record or whatever the fuck the record was, he had to do everything. And that's a problem because you ain't got nobody to do shit. So it's like, yeah, I can't give your running game credit because you got a wide receiver running the ball. You got 4 running backs.
Deebo Samuel, the reason why we drafted him in the first place because of the intangibles that he had as a wide receiver. Okay. He's not like super tall. He's only like 6'6", maybe 5'11", 5'11", 6'1" Deebo is. But he's built like a running back. He runs like a running back. He's a wide receiver who, after the catch, can literally run fucking people over.
That's fine.
You can use him on the jet sweep. You can use him on the way we've been using him. I think is literally perfect. The way we should be using him. No. We just need to actually have it. It can't be nine touches though. we can use him out of the backfield, maybe give him 4 or 5 touches or whatever during the game, but we need to have the running backs stable enough without injury. We need to have a stable committee backfield to where we don't need to give Debo that many touches out of the backfield.
Bro,
let's just keep worrying about giving it to him on the outside.
I feel like you're trying to avoid calling a spade, but you've said it. So I'm not going to say make it seem like you ain't said it. But right now, it just seems like you're avoiding saying it. Bro, your coaches suck. Your coaches suck. They ain't developed nobody. You got all these players on your roster, and they ain't doing nothing. Yeah, Debo Samuel got the prototypical size. But at the same time, when y'all went to the Super Bowl in 2019, was Debo running the ball like how you running now? No.
He was, and then they stopped.
No, he wasn't running that many times. He was running the ball.
that many times.
That's what I'm saying.
But he was being productive. He's being productive in the first half. They just stopped using it.
He's always been productive. So that's one thing I always give y'all credit for. Debo's nice. That's why I said trade Brandon Ayuk. You should have traded Brandon Ayuk.
After this Jimmy now, I look in hindsight. I look at it because Ayuk had a pretty decent. Ayuk had signs of Debo's rookie season in his rookie season. He wasn't as good as Debo, but he had the signs of being the same type of wide receiver. But then you look at it this year, and it's like, well, he hasn't really progressed. He hasn't really, even the coaches have said it. He's, kind of stalled.
See, my thing is when you look at it like that, it's like, here's the issue I have. Not saying you two guys are like that. Honestly, Josh, you more like that than Mastix. Y'all morally go on your fandom. Your fandom makes you think that these players are credible. You know what I'm saying? So I kept trying to tell you, Ayuk was basic as fuck when y'all first got him. I'm like, he basic as fuck. Like, there's no point in making it seem like he gonna be something. He's splitting the field. He's splitting the field with Debo, and that's all he got. His rookie year, that's all he got. He's splitting the field with Debo, and that's all he got. All right, for sure. Nah, bro, he needs to be traded. Like, y'all, you need to use him while he's still an asset. Nah, ain't nobody gonna take his ass. They'll give you a 6th rounder for just him. Like, nobody would take him like that. Like, because again, the potential of development. But at the same time, it's like you can't point another receiver that the Niners have developed. I don't personally think that the Niners developed Debo. I think Debo just always have what he got. I don't think y'all developed him then. Honestly, I've yet to see anybody y'all got on y'all roster currently right now that y'all developed.
I mean, Kittle, that's developed from the very beginning. Debo is a productivity of that. He was developed well.
Kittle.
Yeah, he had the intangibles and the athleticism and everything like that, but the athleticism can only get you so far. I'll have Patrick fucking Mahomes. And we've talked about that. But they've had good development. Just sometimes guys develop slowly, or they don't develop as well as you thought they would. And at this moment in time, Brandon Ayuk didn't develop as much as we thought he would. This game, he had a pretty good game. He was targeted, more times than he had all year. He was targeted in the receiving game more times than Debo and fucking George Kittle combined in this game. But it's like, it's one of those, he shows up for one game and he's productive, and then the next game or next few games, he's nowhere to be found.
Oh, so Amari Cooper. Okay.
He's kind of like an Amari Cooper, except he's not taking the plays off. He's just not beating his man. It's not that he's not taking the plays off. It's just Amari Cooper takes the plays off. He can beat his man. Like, I feel like Amari Cooper can be more of an elite receiver if he didn't take as many plays off.
Oh, I don't see. First off, before we get on Lamar, before y'all go on Lamar, I've yet to see how George Kittle developed. When he first came out of college, wasn't he a blocking tight end? He was a blocking tight end out the gate, right? He's always had the ability to block. So they didn't teach him that. He's been able to catch,
develop it over time. He's gotten bigger since we drafted him too.
I mean, getting bigger ain't really a necessary.
He developed the route running and the receiving ability. How do you say we didn't develop Kittle? He came into the league. He came into the league knowing how. He started the shit. Of course he did it. Him and Kelsey started it. Him and Kelsey started it.
Yeah.
Fucking George Kittle came into the league. He was a great run blocking tight end. Mm-hmm. One thing that was under-recognized was his ability to run routes and catch the football and get the yards after the catch, breaking tackles, everything else like that. That was one thing that they didn't really realize that George Kittle could really do. So they went like, okay, he has the ability to do this. Let's amp that up. Let's develop him even more so that he can become a better overall tight end. And then after his rookie year, his second year in the league, gets the season record for receiving yards as a tight end.
You just sat here and said that the man had an ability already. They didn't develop. They recognized his ability.
He had a potential that they didn't realize could actually be something that turned it like, let's turn this into something like he can actually do this. He's more than what we thought he was. He could be more than a 5th round pick. Let's develop him into something great. That's what he's done.
Nah, man, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I feel like you're underrated. I feel like your hatred for the 49ers is completely underdeveloping the whole thing. It's just like you're like, it's because it's the 49ers that they don't develop people.
No, I'm just calling a spade a spade. I hate the fans. I don't hate the team. I can give your team credit. I hate the fans. There's a difference.
Tell me,
like, you get what I'm saying? And the problem is you're not understanding.
Mean to tell me from rookie season they're just always going to be that good? There's no development from rookie season on. So then how can you say that there's no development here?
So here it is. If you let me get it all out. So firstly, the way players develop, you got to show progression. One, soon as y'all got Jimmy G, George Kittle hit the scene. That's first off. He developed. Y'all got a better quarterback. You got a better quarterback that throws to the tight end first before he throws the receivers. So now your tight end is getting more targets because he recognized how good the tight end is. That's first off. Secondly, where's the development between that? George Kittle, like I said, he got bigger. So you're going from your college weight to your NFL weight. Every single player in the NFL, well, let's say like almost every single player in the NFL gets bigger from college to the NFL. They get bigger in size because it's different weight regimens, different stuff like that, different programs. So again, that's not really development. That's just strength and conditioning. Everybody gets that. So as far as George Kittle being the top guy, no, you just got a better quarterback. So as soon as you got a better quarterback, George Kittle hit the scene and people start, oh, George Kittle. I don't remember hearing George Kittle name not once before y'all got Jimmy G. Not one goddamn time. Y'all ain't say nothing about no damn George Kittle. Not one goddamn time.
I was saying it his rookie year. I was saying it his rookie year when he came out. Like, dude, this kid's going to be he is not worth a 5th round. He was worth higher than a 5th round pick. They were saying that at the end of George Kittle's rookie year, going, fuck, this guy's going to turn into something good.
I don't know. That might have been the barrier of sports because, like I said, I ain't heard nothing. I mean, absolutely, positively nothing about George Kittle until y'all got Jimmy G. And then it was like, oh, Jimmy G's there. Now they got weapons. You know what I'm saying? They got weapons to exploit.
Your hatred for the 49ers caused you to not pay attention to what was actually going on with the team.
I mean, I don't understand how it's hatred when I've been right about every single thing I said about your team.
Not everything. The development
tell me where I've been wrong.
The whole development part of it, that they haven't developed, they haven't gotten any better than they were in their rookie year. That's just Raheem
Mostert got better before he got hurt.
Raheem Mostert wasn't even a rookie here. He was already in the league for 6, 7 plus years before he came.
I'm talking about your coach's ability to develop talent, not from being a rookie. No matter if they're a rookie or a veteran.
How do you develop somebody he only played the last 6 games, including the playoffs during that Super Bowl run. And then we couldn't develop him anymore. Why? Because he got hurt. And then we get him back and he gets hurt again. You can't develop somebody.
When did he get hurt? It was like week 3, right?
Yeah. It was like week 3. And at that point, he was the top 3 leading rushers in those first 3 games before he got hurt. Averaging over 100 yards per game. Mm-hmm. Mostert was on the way to doing something. He's being a top 5 statistical running.
Okay. So
he was on running back to do that, but then he got hurt.
You're raving about 3 and 4 guys. Eli Mitchell, y'all just signed him, and then he just benefited with a good O-line. Right? Y'all just got him. Y'all drafted him? Okay, cool. I don't know your team like that. That's why I said I hate the fans.
You don't know the team like that.
You want me to hate the Niners so bad? Bro, the Niners fucking suck, and they suck most of the time I've been out here. I don't hate your team. I hate your fans. Like you still keep making it seem like I got hate for the
yeah.
I hate the Cowboys fans just as well. I understand that Zeke was solid. I give Dak credit. I give Amari credit for being decent, but I like CeeDee Lamb a shitload better. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like Michael Gallup. I like a couple people on the Cowboys. I say Trevon Diggs is a good corner. I give them credit, but I give Mastic shit about his team. I don't like the fucking Cowboys fans, just like I don't like the Niners fans. It got nothing to do with your team. It's the fans. That's what makes me hate teams, because of your fans. Your fans are obnoxious fuckers that don't realize that you have players that are not going forward. They're not going in the right direction. That's what I was saying about developing your talent. Your O-line has got better. It seems like you got a good fucking O-line coach. But your running backs coach has been like, okay, at best. Your receivers coach ain't developed no fucking body, because like I said, Debo came in and he was like that from day one. Y'all had a bunch of motherfuckers that ain't getting no better. You let go of Hurd, you let go of a whole bunch of motherfuckers that y'all drafted, and they gone. I thought you said y'all let go of Hurd and he went to fucking the Patriots. What receiver y'all had and he went to the Patriots?
Kendrick Bourne.
Bang. And Bourne, you've been saying he balling, right?
No, yeah. I said he was one of, even when he was with us, I was saying he's one of the more underrated wide receivers in the entire league. And I was actually pissed when he left the team. I was like, wow.
But that's my point. When you get players, that leave your team that was in the same system, and then you go to another system and get proper development. Look what the fuck happens. Look what the fuck happens.
The coaching. Yeah.
Like I said, it's your coaches not developing talent. The same thing with the Cowboys, and the reason why I think the Cowboys, like I said, they started out fucking amazing, but I don't think they're going that far because Mike McCarthy ass.
The way you're wording it makes it seem like they're not being developed at all. But when you explain it, what you're actually saying is they're being developed, just not to the fullest capability. They're just not being developed with the Niners, is what he's saying.
I'm saying that they're not being.
If they were to be developed with other teams, they would be better.
No,
or if they were to have a better coach, that they would develop better.
I'm saying exactly what I mean. They're not developing at all. They're getting on your team, and with the talent they got, they're just not going forward. Like, they aren't putting new tools in their fucking tool belt. There's no more accessory pockets being added onto their fucking bat belt. You know what I'm saying?
You can only have so many.
What?
What else? What else are you going to be able to do at certain positions? Like
at receiver, you're supposed to master the entire route tree. Every route on your route tree should be a money ball. Every single fucking route on your route tree should be a money ball at receiver. Every run, inside, outside.
By the time you get, because let's be honest, the route tree is exactly the same. From high school all the way up into the NFL. Route trees are fucking the same. So by the time you've gotten into the NFL, if you aren't at least basically one notch below black belt, as an example, you're not even going to be close to being a second, third, fourth round pick, whatever. You don't understand the route tree. Mastering the route tree and understanding the route tree is very different than actually executing the route tree. Footwork and people's ability to run, that's something different. But understanding the route tree, if you don't understand the route tree by the time you get to the NFL, something's a problem.
I didn't say understand. I said master, firstly. And secondly, I got two names for you. The second one for sure going to be unpopular opinion. I've said this shit multiple times on here. Firstly, Michael Thomas has two routes, a slant, go ball. That's all he got.
Yep.
He was said to be a top 5 receiver in the league. Like, we literally, the first year we was talking on this show, we literally had the argument.
If he was a top 5 receiver?
He was a top 5 receiver, and I was talking shit like, how the fuck is Mike Evans number 8 and Michael Thomas only got 2 routes? That was the very first year. Michael Thomas, they were like, oh, Michael Thomas. And Tyreek fucking Hill. Tyreek Hill has 2 routes. He has a slant and he has a go ball. Go be fast, Tyreek. Go be fast. That's all you got.
I mean, I've seen Tyreek Hill put some moves on DBs and stuff. I mean, you still got to be able to get the separation and everything else like that.
That's just going to be fast, bro.
Still able to do that.
That's more the threat. People are afraid. You gotta remember, when you gotta run it, when you got a receiver / running back like Tyreek Hill, you're more afraid that he's gonna take the top off the building.
That's true.
So they're already in retreat. Every DB that line up in front of them in retreat unless they're in zone. You see what I'm saying?
Then you give him a slant route to give him the ball quickly so he can get up the field quick because of all
give him the ball fast and go be fast. That's all that's pretty much is. Go be fast by yourself, or let me get this thing to you real quick and then go be fast. That's just my opinion from what I've seen of him. And on top of that, the Super Bowl. I watch every second of that motherfucker multiple times. Tyreek Hill got 2 routes. So that's what I'm saying about all of this. Like I agree that with your overall statement, how talents develop, how things are done and stuff like that. It's not happening for you guys and Kyle Shanahan's staff right now. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's like, that's what you have to recognize. You guys got a flash in the pan for having a bunch of rookies in good spots to where they was able to impact the game. Once they're no longer rookies, everybody's able to see all that tape on them and they're able to, you know what I mean, plan for them, game plan for them. Those rookies that have been impactful. Like I said, the only one that's been consistently impactful is Deebo Samuels. He's been consistently impactful since I've seen him. Everybody else has been all right. And that includes your boy Kittle. Because I'm trying to tell you, him and Deebo been having to do too much, and Kittle's injury prone in comparison to shit everybody the fuck else at tight end, other than Gronk.
Huh? Here's what it is.
You would have had him too. I don't think y'all win that game.
Of course you wouldn't have.
Smacked out.
Obviously we wouldn't have. That's 2 touchdowns off the board. We only won by 8. Like, I mean, the defense itself, I was just like, good God. You're just letting too much go.
Yeah. I had no faith in y'all.
I mean, as of the standings right now, we're the number 6 team in the wild card spot at 6-5. It's just a matter of holding on to that spot or getting better to either maybe the 5 seed. But we're sitting in a decent position. Won 3 straight. Not bad. Not bad. But that time we went like basically lost 5 straight. That put us in a huge hole. But what's the Cowboys record right now? Hold on.
Still number 1 in our division.
Doesn't tell me the record.
Hey, still number 1 in our division. That's all you need to know.
Was it at like 6-4?
7-4.
7-4.
They won 7. They won 7. Don't cheat them. Don't cheat them now.
Still a better record than the Niners.
Yep. 1 game back.
Still winning our division.
One question, fellas. Who has the best record on this podcast right now? Can't hear you. Get quiet.
Man, we ain't talking about Tampa. We talking about Dallas. We talking about the Niners.
Show. All right, for sure.
Now you talking about hating teams. See, I hate Tampa, the team. I don't know too many Tampa fans. You're the only Tampa fan that I know. So
but it's,
I'm just gonna hate the team.
It's authentical with me though.
Right. I'm like, you're the only Tampa fan I know. I'm like, I don't think I've ever met any other Tampa fans. It's all, especially like out here.
Hey, my boy who actually I can call him my old former teammate because I played with him for a little while and I left that team. But he's a Tampa fan. He's from Cali. And I asked him why. He's saying Warren Sapp and them boys when it was Derrick Brooks and all of them. Like that's when he joined. When
I was gonna say, still kind of anybody out here. It was a Tampa Bay Bucs fan. It's because of that.
Yeah, Warren Sapp, Derrick Brooks, and all that, which makes sense. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that because that's just what
at this point years, it's a long enough fandom to be okay. You're a fan. That's
I can accept that. I can accept that. That's almost 20 years. I can accept that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but people that just be like, oh, I'm gonna just join your team, bro. This guy I know was a Cowboys fan the longest time since I met him. Knew him for over 10 years. The man, as soon as the Bucks got Brady, he talking about, oh, I'm a Tampa fan now. I'm like, what?
Right.
Like,
we don't need you. Go ahead and go over to Tampa. We don't need no fans like that. Fuck that.
I don't want you. I don't want you over here. Like, as soon as we lose, you're gonna be panicking, bro.
Right.
No,
I knew a Raider fan that literally had gotten so fed up with the Raiders lose. This is, I guess, like just before Derek Carr came in and the Raiders started doing some good. He literally like, you know what? Fuck the Raiders. I'm done. I'm becoming a 49er fan. And he's literally been a 49er fan since. He stopped.
I remember in high school, it was funny. Everybody thought I was a Dolphins fan because for some reason, my family had bought me this fucking Dolphin starter. And it was like the only coat I had at the time. So I'm like rocking the fucking Dolphin starter. So everybody thinking I'm this Dolphins fan. I'm like, hell no. I'm better take that shit back and give me my Cowboys jacket. I'm like,
I was
where
gonna
y'all
say,
get
I'm
the
like, hey,
Dolphins
some of those
from?
starter jackets, no matter what team it was, those are pretty fucking nice.
I ain't gonna lie, that mid 90s starters joint. Ooh, I already know what he talking about. The motherfucker was floating around.
Yeah,
all
right.
over Florida. It was hot.
I remember I watched this dude get his ass beat for his jacket. That's when they had the remember they had the starter jackets, but then they came out with the puffy starter jackets. The long was the trench coats.
Yep.
So I had one of them. I had a Spurs one. Again, bought me a jacket. I didn't even like the Spurs, but they'd be buying me some teams I ain't never even rooted for at the time. But I used to rock that shit. You got a long trench coat. I wasn't even tripping. Man, we was at a basketball game in high school. These fools came out, and I seen this mob. This dude was on the payphone. Seen this mob just run towards him and just whoop his ass and just strip him of his coat. And I was just like, so they looking my way. I run back in the line. I run back in the gym. I'm like, y'all ain't finna jump me. I'm like, this is about 20 of y'all fools jumping this fool. Y'all ain't finna give me
for a jacket.
For a jacket. It was like over a fucking jacket.
Josh, you gotta remember. This was the 90s. Firstly,
yeah, this 90s and this is Sack back in the 90s.
Hey,
Sack in the 90s.
I actually knew a kid when I was growing up over in Texas, like mid-late 90s. I think by this point I'm like 8-9 years old. Kid who was older than me though, lived right down the street, had one of the Raiders starter jackets. And he got fucked up for his jacket, and they took the jacket off of him and literally just like cut the shit.
Oh, they were Niner fans.
No, this was in Texas, so I feel like they might have been Cowboys fans.
Nah, we don't do shit like that.
Yeah, bro. That's what I was gonna say. Like when he had the Dolphins jacket, the Dolphins in the AFC, so that's acceptable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if there's NFC, now I feel like that's egregious. You know what I'm saying? You in the same. You give me a team that's in the same conference, like that Spurs to Lakers. That's egregious. That's egregious as fuck. Like y'all know the Spurs is rivals. Like what y'all doing here? What are we doing here? Are y'all punking me? Where's Ashton Kutcher? Ashton Kutcher, come on. Like what are you doing? What are we doing here? All right, but no, I'm telling you, nobody in my family has ever dare tried me like that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Ever dare tried me like that. Don't give me nothing.
Right.
Magic. Don't give me nothing. Florida State. And you better not. I mean, I repeat, you better not give me anything with New Orleans on that cross that thing. I'm telling you, we're gonna have a whole problem. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
We're finna get you a Simeon jersey. We're finna go to podcast. We're finna chip in and get you a Simeon jersey for Christmas.
For sure. I got you a Teddy Bridgewater on the way. Matter of fact, both Teddy Bridgewater.
You got me a car. You gonna give me a car?
I'm gonna get the kicker. I'm gonna get the kicker. He won the game.
Right. Oh man.
Shit, that's too funny.
Hey, look, I'm telling you. and Josh, don't think you alone. We will be getting you some paraphernalia too. Don't think you left out. We are not leaving you out, sir. You can get a Derek Carr jersey. Matter of fact, Deshaun Jackson, something.
I think Josh be secretly rooting for Philly when we ain't on the podcast. You know,
I feel like he got married into that. No pun
right?
intended. No pun intended. I feel he was married into that, but when they were dating,
as much shit as I've given the Eagles and my wife the Eagles, you really think I'm no? No.
But yeah, just I mean, y'all got that family though. Like y'all got that.
Look. No disrespect to my wife at all because she's not a typical Eagles fan, but I am not lumping myself with that fandom. No, not doing it.
Yeah,
I've seen what Eagles fans have done. They have fucking pelted Santa Claus with snowballs at games before. They've done some shit that just fans.
Yeah,
should
Eagles
not
fans
do.
is fucking raunchy. Yeah, they disrespectful. Yeah.
The city of brotherly love, my
You're
ass.
right.
My ass. When it comes to the Eagles, there is no love for anybody.
Except for
shit
Nick
is-
Check
Foles.
this out. Next year,
There's
for my
exactly.
birthday.
They got a statue of him now.
Next year for my birthday. I don't know if y'all want to go, but I'm going. I'm going to Dallas to see one of the games.
I'm with
But
that.
I just want to go. Like I basically want to go like to see the stadium. Not even like because the tickets I seen like for nosebleed like 138, and then basically yeah. So it's like, but nobody like sitting they see like I ain't there to like. I'll pay the 138 just to walk around, you know, the whole stadium and check out the stadium.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing for my birthday next year. So I got places to stay. I got all kind of family and friends out there. So they like, you know, whenever you want to come out here. So I'm thinking of checking the game out next year.
I got some former Jaguars from San Jose City that's from Dallas Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
my brother's out there and Caleb's out there over in
So like I'm like, shit, we could all get together, shit, go to a Dallas game. I mean, it don't matter who they play, just going to a game and
I want to see Jerry World. I ain't gonna lie. I want to see Jerry World.
Yeah.
I want to see
it.
it.
I just want to go check it out.
Because I was hyped.
Everybody who I know have been and said it's like hella dope. They say you gotta go like see the stadium. It was like basically just to walk around, just you ain't sitting in your seat because you just want to see the stadium.
See if by then, hopefully, because it's a year from now.
Yep.
From where we've already started, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Hopefully by then, maybe somehow, some way, if you don't even have to pay for the 139 for the tickets, we fucking find we get media passes. We'll be in there down on the field or in the press box or whatever for that game.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. It's like you have a birthday present for free.
Yeah, I'm like, that'd be hella dope right there. Be on the field.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna try and find out for that. What has to be done to get media credentials for that? Who do I gotta talk to?
You gotta talk to
who do I gotta talk to? What do we gotta pay? What do we gotta do?
I say fast shot is the reply on Jerry Jones everything.
Yeah.
Just talk to Jerry. Jerry get you in there.
Talk to Jerry or talk to Marshall. He got them NFL. Yeah. But like Marshall, remember when we had you on the podcast? How can we get into Jerry's world on the media pass?
Shit, I think
because he's done media now, so he would know. Like he would know.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like we'd have a better chance of getting into a Ram game with him.
Yeah,
man, than we would a Cowboy game.
You should be trying to get into Levi's. Honestly,
absolutely.
I'm gonna be honest. I went to Levi's and Candlestick, and I was hype on both of them. But I went to Levi's for the Pac-12 championship game.
Mm-hmm.
In Washington and Colorado.
So bad. Yeah, I remember that a couple years ago.
Bro, I went to that one. That shit was fire. I was in that thing. Bro, I was in that thing. That shit nice.
Levi, but I've been to Candlestick.
Yeah, I've been to Candlestick too.
Yeah, I just say Levi it's more of an entertainment venue, honestly, than it is really a football stadium.
Oh, no wonder why I went to football games.
The home side stands are like real fucking small. And then you got a gigantic press box that when the sun hits right, anybody on the other side of the field is getting sunburned. You better come in with you better get some sunglasses, some suntan, some suntan lotion, whatever it is,
goddamn canopy.
because that sun is gonna pop off that goddamn press box and hit you in the face. Like it's and wearing jerseys, you get those itchy fucking sunburns and shit around the neck and stuff. It's
hold on, you raw dogging your jerseys? No, you ain't supposed to raw dog your jerseys now.
No, I got shit underneath it, but the fucking there's parts of the jersey sometimes that get towards the neck. It's just it's annoying.
Oh yeah, see that's why
especially when you get sunburned.
I gotta get these pro club. These motherfuckers be damn near suffocating your ass.
Right.
They be grabbing your throat like motherfucker.
Got damn near a turtleneck on.
Man, I'll take these pro clubs, bro. That's why I don't got too many of them. I only wear them when I got jerseys, and I grabbed this one because I was trying to really grab clothes real quick because I was still wet from the shower. But that's neither here nor there.
But I mean, no, like seriously, we should. I think at least by that point, or at least leading up to that point, yeah, we can, make basically say that all right, we can prepare ourselves for paying whatever it is that we need to pay, but we can fucking try our damnedest to try and get those credentials to get the full on experience of the game. Like that would be fucking insane. Being on the field at Jerry World, doing the press box or the press box on the field, post game, pre game.
I have fucking
access to the play. Bro, hold on. We'll talk about it in a second. Let me talk, but let me get this thing out of the way. You guys already know before we get into the story about what we did on Thanksgiving. You guys know this episode is brought to you by Raise Energy. You guys know where to get it. Repsports.com, RUPPsports.com, and use the promo code AlphaRaise to get 15% off of your order. The mystery flavor, the mystery holiday flavor has both already come out. So you need to get those limited time offers now before they are gone forever. Once again, repsports.com, RUPPsports.com. Use the promo code AlphaRaise, 15% off. Thank you, Raise. Demand more. Join the rebellion. You guys already know. So, we had a very interesting Thanksgiving. We were, myself and Country K. Unfortunately, Mad Sticks couldn't come with us. He was here with his family for Thanksgiving, cooking up, doing their thing. How was that? Or wait, no, that's for Christmas that you were talking about, that gumbo. What did you guys end up making on Thanksgiving?
I didn't cook shit. I made the dressing, but we went to our in-laws. Like my wife, she made all of the the sides. So she made like the sweet potato, the candy yams, and the mashed potatoes, and
But you didn't make it yourself.
Hold on, she made sweet potato casserole with the tomato on the top and
with the marshmallows.
And with the pecans and the fucking goddamn front.
But she just put the marshmallows on there. She didn't put the pecans on there. Just the marshmallows.
Ooh, I'm sorry for interrupting, but that's, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not even a Thanksgiving joint. Like that could be, bro. This is a restaurant.
You eat that
when I was growing up in Florida, bro, it's a restaurant called Buddy Freddy's, bro. They used to make this sweet potato casserole with the pecans on top and the, I'm talking about the sweet crunch and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
No marshmallows sometimes. Like they hit the no marshmallows or they hit the marshmallows on it. I'm talking about everybody in the restaurant. As soon as they lay it out, everybody in line for that joint, bro. I'm telling you, they got put like 2 pans out. The shit's so fucking good. That is just one of my favorites. But continue, please.
Yeah, so we just went to the in-laws, and then she made like 4 sweet potato pies, and the macaroni and cheese. She made like a 5 cheese macaroni and cheese. God damn. Yeah. So, and then we went over to the in-laws. They had we had prime rib over there, ham. And then the sides, nice and full, and I'm ready to hook up this 50 quarts of gumbo that's coming up for Christmas. With about a 50 quart pot, and try to fill that bitch up.
What day Christmas on?
I know, right? Nah, everybody invited. Like I told you, come through. Yeah, I'm not even sure what day it's on the day of the week, but
I think it's
gonna be hella gumbo. So
I'm trying to see what day it's gonna be left. What's
most
left?
of all of the kids gonna be gone. So
25th is on a Saturday. Bong. Sunday we can just record on the day after.
Sunday, yeah.
Oh, I would get me a leftover joint. I'm back.
Right.
Make that trip set. Fuck that. Fuck that. No, you got 50 quarts. Hey, y'all they can't distribute all that between all y'all.
Right, hell no.
Okay, some gonna stay. I know a lot gonna stay.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, me and Country K, we ended up getting media credentials, basically through Leslie and Coach Joe and Mr. Lawrence Fan, fucking great dude. Talked to him a little bit. He even invited us to do the season wrap up interview with Coach Brennan on Tuesday, which definitely going to be a part of. I even have that Tuesday off, so that's going to be really cool to hop on there, maybe ask him a couple of questions and whatnot. But we were there again for San Jose State versus Fresno State, the battle for the Valley Trophy. Senior night, last game of the season for San Jose State. So the atmosphere you already knew when you walked in was pretty palpable, especially it being a rivalry game. Being on the field, you can really feel it, especially in the beginning of the game. Not so much after the game. But during the game, in the beginning, we were getting some good shots and stuff like that. But before we even really got there, I had to drive.
Hold on, Coach.
I had to drive from Sacramento. I came from Sacramento over to San Jose, dropped my wife off over at her sister and her dad's house at around like 8:30 or whatever. So I was getting to the field, and it was getting close to 9:30 when the roll call window was supposed to open up. And I'm pulling up to the field, and the next thing I know, I get a text message from Kay saying my car battery died.
No, I said my car died.
Oh,
that's why I said I'll take over from here, Coach. So my car died. Like it just straight died on me. I'm driving on 101, like coming north. I get off on Story and I'm hitting because I'll say about 9-ish, like probably like close to 9:10. So I'm like, oh, I'm great time. I'm getting off the exit. That shit is around the corner. No problem. Bro, when I tell you, soon as I got off the off-ramp, this car got in front of me before I got to the off-ramp. Got in front of me, started driving extra slow. We going up the shit. I'm driving. Next thing I know, I'm like, my steering wheel got tight. I'm like, what the fuck? I look at my dash, everything's off. Like I look at my fucking all of my dash, radio, all that dead, just fucking dead. I had to fucking muscle man my car onto the side of the fucking goddamn shit, right? And that's when I group chat all you guys and show you. I'm like, what the fuck? My fucking car battery died. By the time I hit y'all, it was like 9:15. So I waited a few minutes because I'm thinking like I can start this bitch right back up. Fuck it. Yeah. No, none of that shit. Car just straight died. Fuck. Called AAA. This dude came. He fucking said that I got a connection problem between the cord and the battery. So it's like I need basically a new cord and fucking bolt shit. That's what he's saying. I'm gonna get that cord and shit, get the cords for the battery connection and stuff, but I'm also going to go check that alternator to go see what's up with that alternator too. So I'm just cover all my bases, you know what I'm saying? And fucking yeah, that's when I got all that shit and it got all finished. And I got to the field, it was about 10:45, 11, something like that.
Yeah, about 10:40. So I get there at 9:30, and I'm kind of circling around because I don't know whether or not I have to go pick up Kay or not. So I'm just kind of circling around the ice rink, just going down the streets and everything. And just Kay tells me, hey, the AAA guy's coming. I'm gonna try and get there before the game starts. Just grab the credentials and get set up. I was like, all right, cool. So I go in, I get everything, or get my credentials and the parking pass and stuff like that. Kay has to get his own with his ID and stuff like that when he gets there. But I walk in to basically where the media room was going to be, the post game media room and stuff at least. I walk in there and there's nobody there. I'm literally the first one in the building. And I'm looking around going, okay, this is odd. I mean, because Mr. Fan told us that the will call window opens at 9:30. And usually everybody's in the media room or whatever by like 9:45, 10 o'clock. So when I got in there and nobody was there, it surprised me. So I'm in there and I'm, kind of putting my stuff down. Don't really know what to do at this point. So I'm just kind of setting up. And I see Mr. Fan walk in, talk to him a little bit. He's setting up. He's like, oh, yeah, this is where everyone comes in to kind of get their stuff ready and warmed up before they go out on the field. I was like, ah. He's like, yeah, so you can go up to the press box and I thought about it going, I could have gone onto the field during the time when everybody was warming up, like the pregame warm-ups and everything else like that. The ones when they're not in pads. I was thinking about it going, fuck, I could have gone over there and did all that and taken pictures and done all that. Yet my mindset was going, I need to be in gear just because I thought there was going to be like pregame interviews. Like before the game, I thought that was going to happen. That didn't end up happening. So getting to learn the whole process of what they do for the media and everything else like that was a little bit awe-inspiring because I was just thinking about, all right, now I know what we can do. Now I know what like the times and when everybody go or where everybody goes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was about 10:45, 11 when you finally showed up. Find K, we get his credentials, we walk in, we get into the warm-up room, and that's when I hear I can't remember who it was. I just know that his voice sounded stupid familiar. And I feel like he's on like KMBR radio or something else because his voice sounded really familiar. And he was talking a lot about some other thing. He was at a game, the night before or something like that.
Shit, I'm gonna tell you the part Josh missed. The part he was saying that Josh missed, he said that he played with Melo at Syracuse. He said he was a part of that team. He said he's playing because they was talking about this is how they got to all the other shit. They was talking about how now everything's pretty much politically correct, and they were saying how you can't say Syracuse Orange Man no more. You know what I'm saying? They just call him like the Orange and stuff like that. And because he went to Syracuse and so did this other girl. And they were talking about that, and they were just saying like how he played for Syracuse with Melo and that squad. And I'm like, damn, he do look familiar. Like when he said it, I was like, what the hell? Because to be honest with you, when I got there, the media room still wasn't full. People still was trickling in. Like they still was trickling in. So it's like he was one of the people that trickled in. They was talking like that. And I'm like, damn, you playing with them? I'm like, and you doing this stuff now? I'm like, I mean, that's dope as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you in sports and stuff like that. And
there are a lot of athletes who end up doing, the sports analytical stuff, later on. So I wish, I'm gonna be honest with you, I wish we could have looked and be, hey, what is your name? Like just started talking to him, kind of find out more about him. Because that would have been interesting to have him on the show and be like, hey, what was I playing with Melo at Syracuse or something like just something crazy like that. But I mean, again, this was an entire learning experience for us. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. I'm sure it's the first time Kay's really done anything like this to this capacity. So we finally go out on the field, and they're doing the pregame warm-ups and everything like that through with the pads on and all that stuff. We get onto the field, getting things set up, and Kay told me how self-conscious he was feeling on the field, and I'm like, why are you feeling self-conscious? And he brought up the lens, the fact that everybody had that big old fucking tube at the end of their cameras.
No, I was more saying that for the fact of the great shots they about to get. It wasn't the fact of the size of the lens. I'm saying the type of lens and the shots they about to get. Because I'm saying I was saying that mine is just, it's not like it doesn't get in there like theirs.
That's why I was saying, like, look how big the motherfuckers is in the zoom. That zoom, they can get in there and they get great shots. And some of them with the wider lens, they get bigger. They got bigger, wide, you know what I'm saying? Radius. God damn, I'm high. In my mind, I'm saying it right, but nah, it won't come the fuck out. It's all good. That's what happens.
But we get on the field and, you know, we're taking as many pictures as we can. And they introduce the team. At this point, Mr. Fan comes and grabs me, says, "Hey, I'll walk you over to the press box." I said, "Okay, cool," because one of us had to be in the press box, one of us had to be on the field. Kay had all the equipment for the pictures and stuff, so I was like, "All right, yeah, you're definitely on the field." So I get up to the press box, and I did not know that in the press box they basically have somebody that at the end of the drive would basically call out on the little. They have a little speaker up there, and they would tell everybody in the press box that drive was a 6-play drive, 60 something yards, however many minutes. This person made a touchdown, this person, blah, 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 blah. I didn't know they had that. On top of that, I was sitting right directly behind the San Jose State radio broadcast of the game. So I was listening to them. I was listening and looking around to the people in the press box. Obviously, some of them were for Fresno State, other ones were for San Jose State, other ones were neutral. On my left, directly in the box next to me, I believe it was the radio broadcast for Fox Sports. So the FS1 for Fox Sports, and then the broadcast booth on my right had the television broadcast on FS1. So I'm looking at there, I'm looking at there, I'm going, okay, this is how everything. You can hear everything on the field. You can hear everything on the field. You can hear everything in the stands. It's just it's very quiet. Not a lot of it. There's a lot of reaction. Like if there was we saw a couple of really good plays, especially by Malik Miller, number 80 on San Jose State. He had a couple of really good catches that everybody in the press box was like, "Oh shit!" And then that other one with the quarterback, I think it was Nick Nash. I forgot. What is Nick Nash or something? Nash is his last name. Number 16.
Oh, Nash 17? 16?
Starkle
yeah,
17.
that motherfucker jumped over. He jumped over the backer. Woo! Hey, I was like, shit. I said that shit. I couldn't get the shot because I was hitting the button for the continuous shot. So I was holding the button, so it was shooting, but I was like, shit. When I was looking at the shit, I know I didn't get it because I know I didn't get that shit. I know it, but I'm still looking through pictures. I had almost 1,000 pictures. I'm still going through them, still combing through them bitches, but I'm still putting the video together too. So,
and then looking at the game, and the game it itself is kind of a struggle. It really did seem like in the beginning of the game, the San Jose State defense was playing with a lot of cushion. Well, turns out Fresno State's offense is pretty fucking prolific, especially given that the quarterback for Fresno, what did he throw for 500 yards and 5 tugs?
Hey, Jake was surgical with that bitch. Hey, Jake was out there. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to San Jose State. I really appreciate y'all, but boy, Jake was out there surgical as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. He was out there slanging that pig. Matter of fact, I got the stats right here. I'm gonna tell you exactly what he finished with. Jake was out there slanging that some bitch.
They gave us literally the full entire breakdown of every. So that was another thing that I noticed when we were in there. All of this, all of the media notes, how thick these packets are. This packet right here is the game notes. Every single play that happened during the game, from play number 1 all the way to the very last play, is all recorded in this packet. And then they gave us obviously the rosters, full rosters right here. news that's going on in the Mountain West Conference, like everywhere else. Was game notes for the team and everything else like that. It's just the amount of preparation and stuff that these guys really actually go through is pretty fucking intense.
So Jake,
what did he throw for?
Jake Hayner, he went for 27 for 36. He had 343 and 4 tutties. He was surgical with that bitch. 4 of them tutties.
Yeah, he had some throws that were just like there was nothing the DB could do at that. There was nothing that they could do. I mean, so in the beginning of the game, at least in the first quarter, Fresno State was just getting big chunks of yardage through, the run game and the short passing game. They ran a lot of screens that turned into fucking 8, 9, 10 plus yard games.
Yeah.
Throughout that whole thing. Fresno State, their first drive was pretty easy. 10 plays, 75 yards. San Jose State took possession after that. Kyrie Robinson was having himself a hell of a first half. The kid was bowling people over, catching ball out of the backfield, getting yards, doing everything that he should do. And then I think they got 3 points after that, ended up getting the ball back, and then Starkle got stripped. That was recovered by Fresno. Starkle was hurt early, but he ended up coming back in, which again showed a lot of trust. They were hurting him. He still managed to throw for almost 250.
Yeah, but that play he got hurt, they smashed my boy, man. I was like, damn. Bro, I grimaced a little bit. I was like, damn.
You knew he was in pain.
Man, they combo hit that boy. That was some crazy shit. It was 2 big ass dudes. I'm like, man, they just bust through the line and smashed him. So
it just continues as the game goes to get, at the end of the first quarter, it was 7-3. At the end of the second quarter, going into halftime, it was 23-9. Like it was just consistently getting worse. And then at the end of the half, it just penalties were killing San Jose State. And one of the main things is Fresno State was destroying them on third down. They owned the third down. Like Fresno State ever got to third down, literally at this point, it was like 10 times out of 10, to be generous, 9 times out of 10, they were going to get the third down conversion, no matter what the yardage or the distance.
I mean, you just said
like
you got the stats. You can just see what they did on thirds.
Yeah, but so there's so much here, but then I have my game notes and everything here that I took.
Third down conversions, they were 7 for 13.
7 for, yeah. I mean, and crucial points in the 5 game.
15.
Yeah, still winning the third down battle. And then they had that trick play that was like a reverse that turned into a pass back to the quarterback that turned in back. He passed it back to the wide receiver, back to the running back or whatever, and took off. San Jose's defense had no idea what was going on. They were super discombobulated on that play and just walked it into the end zone. And then fourth quarter, Fresno putting salt on the wound, just continuing to put a beat down on the Spartans. And just Fresno State ended up winning the game in the battle for the Valley Trophy, 40-9. So at the end of the game, you got a couple of Fresno State players. They run straight to the trophy, which, by the way, this is a big fucking trophy, massive trophy. They run over there, but as they run over there on the field, there's a fight. Like people were like trying to fight each other and shit like that. So there's a scrum in the middle of the field, and then that stopped, and then Fresno State started celebrating, and they all went in. It was just a whole thing. But from the experience of the fans and then experiencing everything on the field, and then being in the press box, getting a text from Kay going, "My battery died for my camera." Like like the car died and now the camera died. Oh, how much of the game were you over in that tent charging your stuff?
Oh, I basically missed the fourth quarter. Yeah, I missed the whole fourth quarter. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I heard the game from the tent.
Because when I came down from the press box, it was like, I want to say it was like 8 minutes left in the game. I told Mr. Pan, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go head down the field. The game's pretty much over. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, no problem. So I go down on the field, and I'm looking for K. I'm like, where the fuck is K? He's not on either side of the field. He's not on the other sidelines. Like, where the hell is he at? So I'm going in, and as I'm down on the field, I'm just taking some extra pictures. And I took a video that I ended up posting up on Twitter of Starkle. He threw a ball to the corner of the end zone that was intended for DC or Deese. And ball came up, and as I'm filming, I literally watching the ball come straight at me. And you can see in the video going like at the last second, I was like, oh fuck. And I I had to put the phone down in order for me to basically block the ball from hitting me in the nuts. So the ball basically came in, it skipped, and I moved and it hit me in the stomach and then went to the corner.
Oh, you fumbled?
It hit me. I didn't even have to catch it. I had the
fumble.
I had the camera here. The ball came up and I moved. Pow! Had I not had the camera in my hand and not been filming, then there might have been a different story. But I was over here thinking that Deese was about to make this crazy ass catch, and by the time the ball was in the air, he wasn't even looking where it was. By the time he turned around, the ball had already hit. But I'm looking at it going, that ball's coming right for me. And to put it there, I was like, oh shit. So that was a nice little moment. But then after that, I went in, saw it at the tent, and went to the tent with Kay. He was getting all his stuff charged and everything else. And then we were right across from where Fresno State, basically, they were in their locker room celebrating with the trophy and everything else like that. And then we ended up going to the post-game press conference for San Jose State. But before we did that, we walked back onto the field, took a couple of pictures and everything else like that. Before we headed to the press conference. Well, when we got into the press conference, we were a little late. Coach Brennan was already on the stand. He was already talking and everything else like that. So we got there a little bit late. We asked him a few questions. Nick Starkle, Kyle Harmon, Tyler Nevins. We got to talk to all of those guys. But it was pretty interesting. The guy who was in front of me, who was asking like the majority of the questions.
Yo, my boy was going.
He was going for the jugular on some of these questions. Bro. He was going for, and you could. I don't know if Kay caught it, but there were a couple of questions that he asked where I literally looked at him like, "Really, bro?"
No, I ain't catch your reaction. I was just focused on.
I was like, hold on, that's the question you're gonna ask? This dude is. You can see the emotion on these players' face. It meant a lot to them. Everything that went on. To go senior day, last game of the season out like that. It was tough for these guys. But some of his questions was just like, wow, you're really not watching the game, are you? Like, obviously they know what happened, but why did it? Oh, it's like, how come that play ended up the way it did? Those typical, like, just negative questions that you just, like, you see them on TV all the time. Like, when the media asks a question that the player just looks at him like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that shit happens. That's literally what was happening in front of me. So any question that I asked, I was trying to be kind of like, I get shit didn't go your way. We understand that, that's fine. But, trying to give these guys a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, going like, fuck, don't forget what you guys have accomplished here these last, few years at San Jose. Like the seniors, especially going undefeated last year during the regular season, getting to a bowl game, winning the conference, everything else like that. That's no small feat. That's something San Jose hasn't done in a very, very long time. Ending the year ranked in the top 25. That's something San Jose State has not done in a long, long time. So it's just like, don't let any of that really, be taken away from you. So it's just kind of seeing, and some of these questions, once we get to another point, because I want to keep building on this. I want this to be something that we do a lot, especially whether it's back at San Jose State, to where we now have a relationship, with Mr. Fan and with everybody else down over there at San Jose State, getting a couple of more of those games and stuff like that under our belt, and then going to the next level or different schools, whatever it may be, just covering different areas. We're gonna see those types of questions over and over and over and I'm sure. And I really do think it's because as an athlete, as a former athlete, you feel for these guys. You felt losses and wins and all that kind of stuff, or you've seen the days that didn't end up whatever. But
speaking of that, that's how I asked Harmon that question. Like I was a player talking to another player. Like when I asked my question, it was so informal. Like it's not even funny. Like it was just not formed the right way for a media to be forming questions. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel like we don't want to be though.
True, but that's why I say I feel like our progression will start just based off of us making a name for ourselves for these different events that we have coming up. Like we have in January doing the thing with Leslie, and then already Jabari already offered us on here last episode about doing a game at Mountain House. You know what I'm saying? So that right there in itself, like, you know what I mean? That could build us a name in itself. Yeah. Well, that, and it builds a name because they're going to be definitely telling other people about it, and they'll get other exposure, and they'll just see your work based on for us doing this and posting the stuff and showing people what we're doing. So that'll make our name different from everybody else because we have things that we're doing coming up. So we're able to make that name, and people are able to vocalize how good or how different we are compared to all these negative people, like how Buddy was trying to be.
Like, real. So I mean, again, the questions and I tried to. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you caught up to it, but whatever I tried to do is like I tried to ask them like maybe one or two questions, and then at the end of it, give them like a comment, be like, especially with the seniors, like with Nick, with Tyler, Kyle was still a junior, I think, and I think he made it clear that he was coming back next season.
Yeah.
So talking to Nick and Tyler, being able to let them know, like, hey, it sucks to go out the way you went out, but just, realize that you're appreciated here at San Jose State, and, nobody can take away what you guys have accomplished. You're just kind of reassuring them, like, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And Tyler, that kid, he's gonna be an NFL running back. For what team, I don't know, but he's gonna be an NFL running back for sure. There's no question about it. Nick, I mean, he made it kind of clear in the post-game conference that he doesn't really know what's going to happen with him right now. Obviously he has NFL aspirations, but he was saying like, it's time to grow up. Somebody send me a book on adulting. I need to get just trying to figure out what the next step for him is. So, just letting him know whatever the next step may be for you. Just realizing at the time here and everything is special, and don't let it eat you up, because that's what those media questions do. They just make the situation even worse. So we just tried to be like, the question I asked for Tyler, just to ask him, reflect on your time here. Now, don't worry about what just happened. Be like, hey, remember the good times. What happened here that you're never going to forget? and he went into full detail on from the time he first showed up at San Jose State to his 5th year, senior year here. Up in that point, he said he loved every bit of it. You know, he thanks Coach Zoe and all the coaches, all the teammates and stuff like that he's had. You know, full on thing. Because at this point, especially when you know the season's over and there's not much you can really do about anything else, to get the questions that they were getting, it's just like you're just rubbing salt in the wound. You're just making the hole even bigger, you know, for them to get out of, instead of leaving them with a positive note, being like, hey, you guys will be fine. You know, you're making them think, shit, you know, what could have happened? You're making them overthink. So hopefully we can become a crew that, you know, I mean, we have to be not afraid to ask tough questions when they need to be asked, but it's kind of like read the room. You know, it's kind of like we need to understand how the other person that we're talking to is feeling right now. So it's kind of like we got to know when to ask tough questions. We got to know when to be like, oh, we just need to give him some space to clear his head or whatever it is like that. But just the overall experience, being able to know how to. I didn't know that basically if you have a media pass at the end of the game or at halftime or at the very beginning, whatever, we can go on the field and take pictures. Like right when the game was over, media people from the sideline all on the field. She was running on the field, taking videos, pictures, whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, I'm not used to that. I thought we were supposed to be on the sideline the whole time. No, these motherfuckers are running out there, like getting in the shit, taking pictures, taking videos. So I'm just like, okay, then we need to be more, or at least me, or whatever, us as a whole, need to be more aggressive. That when it comes time for us to be on the field to take those types of pictures again, we can't be afraid to just fucking run in there and take it. The worst thing that could happen is them telling us, hey, get off, you can't be on the field at that point. Okay, fine. We know when. We're slowly learning when we can't be on the field. But just being more aggressive to get those shots, I think will benefit us later on in the future. But the whole experience in itself was eye-opening. We got to see Jabari when we first got there, talked to him a little bit. We said happy birthday to Coach Zoe. That was basically it. He ran off. He was full focus mode. We both saw that as soon as we saw him. So it's kind of like, all right, we can't have a full conversation with him just yet because we know where his mind's at during the game. And then after the game, I saw him, you know, said happy birthday, happy Thanksgiving and stuff again. But then he had to go, obviously, because he's got his family and stuff like that he spent his Thanksgiving over there with. But again, like the whole experience itself was pretty eye-opening, and seeing every aspect of the game. I even talked to the FS1 camera guy for a minute and asked him, like, hey, you know, he's like, yeah, they give us sound bites and stuff like that. They tell us, hey, you know, if we're not already catching something or if we already haven't noticed something, they'll tell us, hey, put camera or whatever over to this sideline, over on this player, or over on this part of the stands or whatever. He's like, the communication that they have there and everything is also, and they're also, I believe, listening to the game over their earphones, so they can kind of, as they're hearing the game, to gauge what it is that needs to be shown. So if like the announcers are talking about a certain thing or a certain player, the camera guy knows, all right, let's be on this guy since that's who they're talking about. You know, let's be on this guy. You know, so it's seeing the whole production on how everything goes. It's pretty fucking crazy. It is pretty crazy. But I am super happy that we were there. I'm glad that we got to experience the whole thing. Magic, if you are going next one we go to, you will be with us.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I do know that this was hella last minute because we really didn't even know I didn't even know this was going to be a thing until Sunday. The Sunday before, because they had put up Leslie and Gunner Sports and all that. They put up something that bring if you want tickets to the game or anything else like that, let us know. And I just put up, I was like, hey, let us know how much the tickets are. It'd be cool if we can, maybe go to the game or something, just as fans and getting in respect, seeing the game or whatever. And then Leslie came up with the whole, hey, get a hold of Mr. Fan for your media credentials so that you guys can just go. And so we didn't know till Sunday that it was a possibility. And then I didn't find out until Tuesday evening that we were even going to be accepted for the media credentials. So they're super last minute. I completely understand that. Next time though, hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit further ahead of time so that we can be able to schedule our own plans and stuff like that out of it. But again, like as you guys can see here, just all of this, how thick all of this stuff is. So this is literally a book that you can basically put out of all the preparation, news, everything. So basically what we're going to be doing, anytime that we get an opportunity to do something like this, we want to show the listeners and viewers everything. We want to show you guys all access for how everything's done, from production to press. Because again, we're not the typical press. We're not the typical media. We're something different. That's what we strive to be. That's what we want to be. We want to give a different perspective. We don't want to be robotic in all of our stuff. We want to, in the interviews that we have, again, like I said before, we want to be able to read the room. We want to be able to ask questions that are actually relevant, that actually mean something, not just something that's just you're looking for a fucking soundbite with, because that's really what some of these negative questions that the media gives these guys are. They're just trying to get sound bites. They're trying to get a reaction so that, oh, hey, this type of reaction gets views, gets likes, whatever it is. That's basically all that they're named for. It's, just for a reaction. We don't want to do that. We want to be, giving questions and asking questions that are genuine and actually make sense and actually mean something to the player and to the viewer or listener who might be listening or seeing. So we're going to get better. We're going to know even more about what we're going to do. We have a small taste of what it's like. And hopefully, another Spartans season is over. But hopefully we'll be able to do more games for them, be able to keep and maintain that relationship, and then expand. Go to different colleges. Maybe Sacramento State, they just won the Big Sky conference over there for the FCS. So maybe going over to Sacramento State, talking to them, or just whoever, wherever, whenever. Just getting more and more and more experience under our belt. So eventually, we're getting to the professional level. We want to be, doing media over there at Levi. Before this, we were talking about, for Mad Stix's birthday, heading down over there to Dallas and, possibly getting media credentials for that. That would be fucking dope. If not, we'll be there as fans, but not of the team. Just, there's only one fan in this whole trio here for that team, and best believe me. And do you know the schedule? We don't know the schedule for next year.
No, not yet. Nope.
It's probably going to be some team that we can't even root against the Cowboys because the other team we hate too. It's going to be something.
And we might play the Niners next year. We played them last year. We might get a Niners game next year in Dallas.
If y'all get a Niner game in Dallas, and that's the one we go to, or that's the one that's around your birthday, and that's the one we go to, that's going to be cool.
Or we might get Tampa. We can go out there, beat Tampa at home.
Yeah,
either way.
I ain't gonna sit here and even indulge that bull. We both know that's a lie. We both know that's a lie. Hey, speaking of Dallas, I was just all right. So I went to a scrimmage Saturday, right, in series, and this dude that was on the team,
on everything I love. This man had number 4 and everything. This boy looked dead on Dak Prescott, bro. On everything I love, I should have took a picture with Buddy. He looked dead on Dak Prescott. When you get up on him and he smile, he don't look nothing like Dak Prescott. But I'm talking about like he got his hat on and you just see him on the sideline. You like, hold on, the fuck is that Dak Prescott? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, he looked dead on Dak to me. Like everybody kept calling him that. But that was funny though. But yeah, Dak ain't got no smoke with Tom. Even Tom at 50 years old beat the shit out of Dak Prescott in the football game.
Damn.
Yeah. We'll see.
That TB12 treatment is something, huh?
Man, that boy.
Shit, we'll see this weekend, man. If we lose Thursday, then it's pretty much just like fuck it. I'm not even no hope. Yeah, it's a wrap. If we lose Thursday,
you gonna go for the Jets again?
So. Hey, I'm still going. I've been going for the Jets.
Yeah, all right. Y'all going for that first overall again? That's what we looking for?
Hey, shit, we won today. Nah, what's the name getting that first? Detroit getting that first overall this year.
Oh, that's right.
Detroit.
Y'all top 5 for sure, though.
16-1. That's what they're gonna be. Guaranteed.
That was horrible. Like I wouldn't even want to play no more. Like if I just didn't win no fucking games, like what's the point?
Nah, I'd be out there playing hard as fuck.
I'd be like,
I'd be playing hard as
bullshit.
Fuck. At least I know I got a job here.
Yeah, right.
Hey, it don't feel crazy, boy. At least I know I got a job here. Shit, they stuck, but fuck it. You ain't got to get me out of here. I play real hard.
Right.
Hey, they've got an early access screening to that American Underdog. That one with Kurt Warner. Early access screenings December.
You watch it. You gonna call the man bag boy in public the Marshall Faulk, bruh. You need to watch that before everybody. You need to watch. They give you a lesson. You need to watch that like it's school. Like this is Kurt Warner and learn.
Just take a picture of him in the grocery store scene. Send it to Marshall. Be like, hey, remember this?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
Bag boy comment.
Hey, look, he got upset about that. That ain't even funny. He got upset about that one.
I
don't talk about my quarterback like that. Man, look.
Give him the facts, Marshall. I'm just saying. It's telling you what he was. Because even he said in the very beginning he didn't think Kurt was going to be shit. He said that.
What's that Drewski mean? No, I ain't going there with you.
By the way, this Sunday night game is just ugly. Are y'all watching this?
Yeah, I'm watching it. Yeah.
Baltimore, Cleveland.
Yeah,
it's ugly.
It looked like it's like a typical AFC game, just boring as hell.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, Baker ain't doing shit. Lamar ain't doing shit.
That's crazy.
Chubb ain't doing shit, which is good for me fantasy wise. I'm out the league.
Boogie to the Bucks.
Boogie to the. You shut up. Can we talk about? We can obviously talk about it now.
We're talking about it now. Boogie to the Bucks.
Oh,
DeMarcus Cousins. Before we get off it, DeMarcus Cousins went to the Bucks, and Matt Sixia tells us after the news comes out. Oh yeah, I knew this about this a couple of weeks ago. I was like, what? Why didn't? I was like, could have said something, and we'll just make it look like we're speculating or making it seem like we like. I don't know. We could have did something. I was like, obviously we wouldn't have said shit, but we completely understand where he's coming from. You know, don't want to ruin those friendships and stuff like that. So wait, you have jobs in Milwaukee now a couple times a year?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Get to go back to work.
Oh shit! We gotta get
that's gonna be fun.
Out there in Wisconsin. Well, see,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
We're getting sources.
Mark Andrews.
You see where John Wall is training at. You see where the summit is.
I'm saying, is he going to Milwaukee now? We might see him in Milwaukee. Just
the summit ain't in Milwaukee.
Where's that at?
The summit is in New York.
Oh, so what? He wants to go to Brooklyn?
No.
You're gonna go to Brooklyn because fucking Kyrie's not playing for him?
It's more
the summit is in New York.
Brooklyn. You might go to the Nets. I mean, not the Nets, the fucking Knicks. God damn,
I was gonna say the Nets are Brooklyn.
I know. I was fucking up. I said, God damn it. Yeah, no, man, the Knicks.
Why do you want to go to the Knicks? Why do you want to go to the Knicks?
Why not? Why you acting like the Knicks just that far off?
I mean,
They was in the playoffs. They was in the playoffs this past year.
Yeah. It's also the bubble.
No, it wasn't the bubble. It was regular playoffs.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, that happened again. Damn, dude, this COVID time
back to back. That's back to back years going to the playoffs. Why would you not want to go to the Knicks? Yeah, really? They win the bubble too.
Yeah, the Knicks is nice.
Yeah, you tripping? They just
Julius Randle over there.
Derrick Rose.
Randle's good. Yeah. Randle's good. I'll give him that. Robinson's good. I'll give him that.
Yeah, like come
on,
man.
Toppin?
Obi Toppin, yeah.
He's pretty dope.
Bro, you really sleep on the Knicks.
And then Barrett.
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
Speaking
sleep
of that, the Lakers is playing the Pistons tonight.
I'm gonna be real. The only reason why I know that many players on the team is because I was playing 2K and I got drafted to the Knicks. That's the only reason why I know some of those players on the team. That is completely it.
Detroit gonna have that boy playing 12 minutes. He's gonna play 12 minutes unless he's starting, and they have him guarding LeBron. It's either one or two ways they're gonna do it. They either gonna have him Simmons so far away from LeBron so it won't even matter, or they gonna just really have him guard LeBron the whole time and be like they doubling down with the player. Like that shit look egregious. We think he hit you too, like and just have that nigga guard him because he getting in LeBron head.
We'll see where he ends up going. But again, I mean, doesn't hella players, especially in the off season or whatever, they're not playing, they go to the summit to play or to practice?
Not all of them,
but a good amount.
Yeah, there's a good amount.
That could just be like a spot that he just pulled up to practice. Does him going to the summit necessarily mean that he wants to play in New York?
I mean, he played for Houston.
Right. He obviously doesn't want to be Houston.
And James Harden.
Texas a little bit across the way from New York.
Yeah, James Harden for sure got New York bound when he was ready to get out of Houston.
So instead of Brooklyn, he might go to
KD.
The only reason why I say Brooklyn,
Warriors.
So that's coach.
No, I'm saying when he got his surgery, he went to New York. And he ended up signing with Brooklyn.
If he goes to Brooklyn, it could possibly make sense because Kyrie's not playing.
That would make sense.
Or maybe fill that hole.
That would make sense. Kyrie's still on the contract.
For now.
Man, I don't know what y'all.
That could change at the end of the season if the situation doesn't change for him.
Yeah, you tripping, bro. And what they gonna get with Kyrie talent?
What are they just gonna pay him not to play?
They'll get rid of Kyrie before they keep him another year.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna keep him another year, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think his situation they ain't gonna.
I mean, because as long as he ain't getting vaccinated, he ain't playing this year. So why keep paying him?
They've
he already get the vaccine, so you gotta get rid of him at some point.
Go to a team or whatever that doesn't require you, or their state or whatever doesn't require you to do it.
Yeah, but it's not just their state. When they travel other places, he can't play too. Like San Francisco, you can't go play in the Bay. LA, you can't play in LA. There's like certain stadiums, so
you pretty much.
And then now they got this new damn variant that came out. This new one with Omnicore. They got like 30 different variants here. They done found it like South Africa, so this shit ain't going away no time soon. I don't think it's ever gonna go away.
It'll be like the flu. It's just gonna stick around.
Yep. You just get your booster and shit, call it a day. Keep going.
I mean,
you have to probably get like a booster.
If Kyrie's situation, vaccination status stuff doesn't change, there's no way the Nets keep him, because why the fuck are they going to pay him that much money to not do anything? Doesn't make any sense to do that. Financially, for a team, it doesn't make any sense to do that. All under the pretense of, well, if he does, he could be good for the team. Like, at that point, it's how much money are you just going to throw down the drain before you just say, you know what, fuck it, we'll find somebody else. That's why I think John Wall going to replace him over there in Brooklyn might actually work.
Yeah, but that's just with the intention that you think Kyrie just gonna stick to the norm. You don't know what he doing.
I mean, I don't exactly. I don't know. I don't know what.
That's why I'm gonna just morally just say, I feel like I don't think they're gonna let that just go to waste. I don't think neither one of them are. I don't think neither one of those parties want that situation to go to waste. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how deep do you think Kyrie is set in his ways?
I don't know, but I also know that he's learning and he's evolving. So he probably, you know what I'm saying, he probably learned some stuff, or he probably evolved and figured some stuff out. It's like, you gotta let him figure it out. Everybody gotta figure it out.
Very true. Well,
I don't see Russell. I don't see Westbrook staying with the Lakers this whole year either.
Hell no.
No.
He's probably gonna get traded, or or he's definitely not gonna be on the team next year. I don't think.
Nah.
It's just not a fit. I knew when Westbrook came to the team. I told you, Mets, it's not gonna make you guys any better. I think even you said it. It's not gonna make your team any better. I think if anything, you said it was gonna make them worse. That's kind of what
you can't have too many fucking stars on one team. That shit just don't mesh. I mean, this ain't like
the ball. Everybody wants.
This ain't like video games where you can create your own shit, and just dominate. This is, this real life shit. It don't work that way.
Nope. I can't necessarily agree with that because LeBron was out for most of those games.
Yeah, but it's just West. I just, even with LeBron in, it's just Westbrook is going to get points and everything, but a lot of his turnovers are coming really shitty times.
Yeah, that's fine. But like I said,
crucial points during games.
He got to learn. It ain't like, so people also got to remember. Talking shit.
He was on a team where it was all about him.
I mean, he's that type of talent. You can't deny his talent. It's more the fact of Washington Wizards. They weren't gonna make they didn't make the playoffs the year before Russell got there. They made the playoffs last year. Just say that.
Yeah, I mean, they made the playoffs, but the one in
the year before.
The year before Russell got there, they didn't make the playoffs. They was out. They was trying to play in for the bubble, but they, you know what I'm saying?
Now, when we was in the bubble, we won a championship in the bubble.
No, he's talking about when Russell went to the Wizards.
Oh, the Wizards. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I said the Wizards because Russell was on the Wizards the year after the bubble, and they went to the playoffs. They lost, but they went to the playoffs. Like, people got to remember, like, he is impacting teams and stuff like that for turnovers and stuff. But I mean,
but again, you got to realize he doesn't need to be all of that on this team.
All right, well, that's why I say you got to learn. That's why I can't necessarily disagree, because LeBron has played with motherfuckers that's sorry shit and got them to the finals. Sorry, like, these motherfuckers are sorry, and Russell ain't sorry. So that's why I can't necessarily just agree with that. As far as stars, it's like, yeah, at one point, everybody was a big shining star on that team. But everybody ain't that same person. Like, Melo ain't that same person, but he coming in and being very serviceable for the Lakers. Ain't nobody saying talking no shit about Melo in his game, because he been coming in getting buckets. I ain't heard one Laker fan say nothing bad about Melo. You see what I'm saying? So I can't necessarily say just a full of star shit.
It's just more the fact of he got to learn how to play. He got to learn how to play with LeBron and AD and stuff like that. It's just more about they got to gel. Same thing. If they get rid of him, then they get rid of him. But at the same time, I necessarily just can't be like, oh, he ain't a fit. LeBron been hurt most of that time. And he just got back not too long ago. So they got to be able to figure it out. LeBron, like, if you're going to say he one of the top players to ever play basketball, look at the people that you said before that. They got to figure out how to get pieces to work. You know what I'm saying? It take time. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It took a little bit of time. It's going to take more than, 20 games for them to be like, oh, we're going to go blast everybody. No, it ain't like that.
I mean, we'll see. Long seats in the hood. We'll see. But everybody, thank you guys for hanging out with us again. The next episode that we're going to be having will be this Tuesday instead of Wednesday because as we know my manager's hate me. So yeah, we're trying to figure out we're scheduling stuff, trying to get things out of the way. But for right now, we will be back with you guys on Tuesday, day after Monday Night Football, after the season wrap up press conference on Zoom that we're going to have with Coach Brennan. So we'll be able to talk to you guys a bit about that. Maybe even bring you some snippets to the episode from that press conference. But yeah, on Tuesday, we will see you guys then. Thank you guys once again for hanging out with us. I know we didn't talk much about Sunday Night Football because, let's be honest, it's been kind of a shitty game. If you guys want to go check it out, go check it out. But I think the score is only 13-6 right now. So it is what it is. You might want to go to bed. Anyways, we'll see you guys on Tuesday. For myself, JP, for Country K, for DJ Mad Sticks. We'll see you again. Deuces.
Aloha.